So welcome everybody to the Be Everywhere Academy training session for today. Today, as you can see on the screen, we are looking at setting up and using WordPress for your business. So welcome along everybody, and thank you so much for taking the time to join me this afternoon. It's a really exciting session. I do have a lot to cover, and what I'll be covering in this training session. Firstly, your blog is the heart of the Be Everywhere strategy. If you're not too familiar with the Be Everywhere strategy, or you've forgotten what that's about, what I'd advise is that you go to vWriter.com/blueprint and just download the document that's available there. And that goes through how the blog starts off the whole strategy. So it gives you content for your email list, content to share with social media, so it allows you to build up your community on, say, Twitter and Facebook and communicate with them on a regular basis. It gives you content you can then adapt for use on Slideshare, so you're creating content to put on Slideshare, one of the top 200 websites in the world, and from there to be able to produce videos. You can go into podcasts and everything else, really, a huge content tree that can all start from your blog. So that's really the root of how to build massive publicity for your website. So in this particular training session, we're going to look at how to set up and install WordPress for your business, including looking at themes, which is how you make your blog look, installing plugins, which give you a lot of the functionality of WordPress, and also ensuring it uses responsive design. And that relates to the ability of your site to adjust itself based on the device that people are viewing it with. So if somebody's coming through on, say, an iPhone, or they're coming through on a tablet computer, they can still view that website perfectly well, and that's really, really important. Firstly, if somebody can't view that very well, they're going to snap back out of it straight away and go back to the search engine, for example, and that tells Google something about the authority of your website. So it's important that you keep them there as long as possible. But on that note as well, Google is really clamping down on websites that aren't responsive and really removing them from the search engine results pages, especially for people clicking through on mobile devices. So you really need that website to be responsive, and a WordPress theme makes it very, very easy for you to do that. I will also give you a guided tour of how to use WordPress in practice, so you can really get going immediately. You'll see how to create a new post, how to adjust some of the settings that you need to do, and so on within WordPress. So let's go into how to set up and install WordPress for your business. Themes, plugins, ensuring it uses responsive design, as I've said. We're going to look at installing it the easy way. Then there's another just as easy way. You'll see just how easy it can be to get WordPress installed for you if you're not, if you don't already have that. So the just as easy way, it does depend on which host you use, but there, most hosting providers do actually provide that kind of functionality that I will show you. I will also show you the harder, get your hands dirty way. So we'll dive into the easy way to start with. If you go to vWriter.com, it could be a website you're familiar with or not, but basically you can get tasks done for $5, nice and simple. Just do a search on vWriter.com for install WordPress, and you will find a number of providers who can do that for you, can simply take care of it for you, which makes it very easy to do. So you go through, pick a provider. You will see various providers listed there for you, saying they can install WordPress, set it up, and so on. What you need to do really, what I would recommend is to pick somebody who's got a high rating. So if you click the high rating tab there and just have a look at the kind of ratings they've got. So you can see in the bottom right-hand corner there, if you just hover your mouse over, it will show you the star rating they've got, for example. So you're really looking for somebody with 5 stars, and also has a number of clients that they've worked with before. So you can see there, this guy here has worked for 166. He's got 5-star rating, so he obviously knows what he's doing. He's been using Fiverr for a long time, and you can expect a good result. One thing you might want to check is just check the queue that they've got waiting. So if it's a high quality provider, they do tend to have a bit of a queue of people, which is really a good sign. It's a bit like avoiding a restaurant that's empty and going into one that's a bit busy, because you might get a better response. So it can be worth kind of waiting, but you're only talking a day or two usually. So you pay $5. You then supply the provider that they will ask you for information such as your hosting login or your cPanel login, just to allow them to log in and do the work that you need to be done to install WordPress for you. They'll ask for your domain name, so just let them know what site you would like it to be added onto, and any other details. So, for example, you might not want it on the straight domain, such as your website.com. You may want it in a subdirectory /blog, for example. So you can just let them know where you want that to be installed, and it's really that simple to get it done. So let's move on to the just as easy way, and this is just as simple to do. In some ways, it's even easier because you can really do this within a minute or two, a few seconds. It does depend on your hosting provider, but as I said towards the beginning, so many hosts are now providing a really easy way to get WordPress installed. So, for example, on HostGator, they have a little button on their cPanel, on their control panel, saying get started with WordPress today. It may well differ, from time to time. So just look for a button that's similar to that, offering to get WordPress installed for you. Click the link. You'll then see a page which allows you to install WordPress. So click the button. There may be an intermediary bit to this that leads onto this page, but just click the Install WordPress option. And you can see it's completely free. It literally does it within just less than 5 seconds. It will ask you for a few details. So because you're already logged into HostGator, it should load your domain names or domain name. You can see this is an example site I've been working with for this presentation. So just select the website in question. If you are installing it into a subdirectory, for example, it could be an existing site where you want to add a blog onto. You can see on the right-hand side at the top, it's got install /path/ here. So, for example, if you wanted that installed in a blog directory, you would just put blog into that field there to get WordPress installed into that. Add your email, the title that you want for the blog. You can always adjust that at a later stage in WordPress. That's really easy. Your login details, so admin user. Usually you would call that admin just for the sake of ease, your first name and last name, as you can see, and click the button. I tried this earlier on. This took less than 5 seconds. It only took about 2 seconds, I think. If you click the View Credentials link, it may well differ depending on which hosting provider you're using, but with this particular installation option, which they use a site called Quick Install to do it. So after it's installed, it will show you a big orange banner, your install is complete. And if you just click View Credentials on the right-hand side, it will give you the information that you need to log in to WordPress. So you'll get your username and password, and you'll be able to log straight in there. Now we're going to look at the get your hands dirty way, but I would really recommend, based on the ease with which the other two methods, the ease with which they allow you to install WordPress, there is seriously no need to do this at all. So I would caution against doing this, but just to show you the process, and you'll see, it's quite a bit more complicated to do. It's fine if you've got technical knowledge or a technical background to go through and do this, but even then, it's a lot easier to pick one of the other two options I've shown you. WordPress call it their easy 5-minute install, and it takes less than 5 minutes when you know what you're doing. If you're not too technically minded or it's unfamiliar territory for you, then all sorts of things can go wrong with it. So it's an installation via FTP method, so it's a lot of uploading things to your website and just a few settings and that sort of thing to adjust. All the detail, and there is a lot of detail in this, is on the URL, on the link on the screen there, if you want to take a closer look. The easier way to get there is probably to Google install WordPress, and you will see some content from WordPress come up, and you'll be able to click through and see all the detail. It's a very detail-heavy document, and just the look of it should point you back to the previous methods I've suggested, to be honest. But it really guides you through this process to download and unzip the WordPress files from wordpress.org/download, create a database within your hosting installation. So you'll be looking for MySQL, and you'll be looking for the ability to create a database and then to create a user for that database as well. So you can see this is quite a bit more complicated than just clicking a install WordPress button in HostGator, for example. Once you've done that and you've unzipped and you've uploaded and everything, go to your website and then /wp admin /install.php. Go there and it will guide you through a bit more of the installation process. So it will ask you about your database connection details. So you'll be this is where you'll be keying in the kind of the name and the password of your database, and also the details for the database user. You'll be entering the username that you want to log in with, your admin username, the password, and your email address, so that WordPress can send you important notification emails. But as I said, all of that is so much more simple when you go through one of the other options. So whichever of those three options you choose, you will then see, all being well, a Hello World page like this. They basically put in an initial sample post into your blog. Invariably it's Hello World, so you'll see that on your blog as soon as you click through and take a look. And how you change the look of that website, as you can see, that's kind of the basic default WordPress theme there. So it's very basic, very plain. How you change that, how you change the view of that, is by installing a theme onto your website. It really gives your website a skin, so it individualizes it for your website. It's a bit like these skins you can get for mobile phones, like iPhones, for example. It just gives it that outer cover, makes it look different. You can tweak it as you want to and really make it individual to your own business, to your own blog. There are literally thousands of WordPress themes available. Just a quick Google search for WordPress theme, and you will see, hundreds of different websites selling all sorts of different themes. So you can get free ones, and you can also get more premium purchased ones. WordPress, to start with, as I said, is set to that default theme, so you'll probably want to change that to something different, and you can literally do that within seconds, as I will show you. So first of all, you log in. To log into your blog, just go to yourblog.com, whatever your website is, /WP admin. Key in your details. You'll soon get used to doing that one. And you'll see your dashboard there with a range of controls. And I'll go through some of these later on with a live demo of the sample WordPress website I've been working with today to put this together. So to reach themes, you need to just go down to Appearance on the menu and then click Themes, and you'll see that for this particular WordPress installation, they have a theme called 2015, and you'll very likely get the same one. You can see that that one is active at the moment. They have a couple of other ones for you to choose from. So there's 2014 there, there's 2013. And to get any detail of a particular theme that's listed there, you can just hover over the theme icon and click theme details to see a bit more information about it. If you want to switch themes, you can see a live preview of it before actually making that live. So they just show you what your blog might look like with a different theme, and it just allows you to test out different themes before you make it live for visitors. And when you're ready to really make it active, you can also do this through the live preview as well. So once you've previewed it, you can then click an activate button within there as well to make it live. But just for purposes of example, click activate there, and it will then change the nature of your blog. You can see this looks very different to the one that we saw before. It's still a fairly basic theme, but it looks different than what we had before. It's just a skin on the top of WordPress, and it just makes it look different, gives it a different look and feel, different functionality as well. And you can see here how that theme, the themes within WordPress, those default themes, they're all responsive, which means that your blog will appear differently on different on different devices. So you can see it looks different here on a iPhone, for example. Looks different on a tablet computer, such as an iPad. Still, very much the same kind of website, but you've got the menu at the bottom. You've got a bit more text for the post itself for the tablet computer, and a different menu there. And the full computer, you're going to have the menu on the left-hand side instead of underneath. So you can see how these responsive designs just kind of squeeze it up and make the elements of the blog appear in different ways, so that people from different devices can access your website in a perfectly sound way, that they can see it and access it perfectly well. They're not going to disappear somewhere else as soon as they arrive. So in terms of installing a theme, you can click the Add New Theme button, which you'll see via the dashboard again. So dashboard appearance and then themes. Click the Add New Theme option. They have various themes available that you can switch to here. So you can pick one of these options if you would like to. You can also upload a theme. So that's where you may purchase a theme from elsewhere, and you can then upload those files into WordPress, and this is how you would do that. You can see on the top there, they have a feature filter. I'll just move my mouse around there so you can see it. If you click that, there is an option there to tick responsive designs. So that is how you would select that you only want to see responsive themes. And I would certainly recommend that you do that, just to make sure that your blog is going to be fully visible on Google, and that any visitors coming along can see your website perfectly normally as you would want them to. So to search for other themes available, just look for WordPress responsive themes. A really good website I use every so often is themeforest.net. They have a lot of really high quality responsive themes. There are a lot of other theme websites as well selling WordPress themes, so just have a look around, have a look on various forums as well for different recommendations. It can take a while to find the theme that works, but the good thing is, you can change the look of your blog within seconds. So just try one out. If it doesn't really work for you, then switch to another. It's very easily done, really. You can install and customize it yourself. Installation is as easy as I've shown you. So you'd upload the files and then make that theme active within WordPress. In terms of customization, there are various settings for themes within WordPress, but that only goes so far for you. So there are sort of more technical aspects that you may need a developer to help you with. And again, I would point you back to Fiverr really to get somebody who can adapt your theme in the way that you want it. They may charge a bit more than $5 depending on the gig that they have available, but I'd certainly recommend to do that if you need specific changes made to the theme. But I'll run through various customizations you can do without having to do that at all. So again, go to Fiverr, as I said, search for install WordPress theme. In terms of customizing your own theme, I was going to run through this again. So live demo. So we're going to move to the live demo now. Now I'm going to just switch out from this screen and switch to the blog, the sample blog I've set up for this. So let me just hide that so it's slightly larger for you on your screens. So in terms of customizing it for yourself, I'll move to my dashboard. You can see I've got the basic theme there installed with WordPress, as I went through earlier on. So let's just go down to themes, and then you can customize the appearance of it. So I'll click customize there. Just wait for that to load. It's slightly slower because of the data, because of the running the presentation basically. And this gives you various options to customize it. This will differ based on the theme that you use. So you may see different options here based on the theme. You can also change the active theme here as well, but we'll stick with this one. So you can change the site title and the tagline. So the default tagline is just another WordPress site, so we probably need to change that. So learn how to, I'll just put basic information in, learn how to build traffic to your website, just something basic like that. And you can see that's immediately changed in the preview up here. You can also turn that off if you don't want that to show. Again, that's another theme option within this particular theme. Different colors, I'm probably going to leave that as it is, but you could, set that color to red or another color that you want to do. I'll stick it as white. I'll leave it as white so we can see it properly within this theme. Background color, I won't change that at all. I don't think that will make any difference on the smaller screen here, but again, it's just, these options you can just play around with depending on the theme that you're looking at. Header image, this is where you would put a banner. You can see I've already uploaded one here, so this is where a banner would show at the top. So I'll just show you what you would do if you hadn't yet uploaded one. So I'll click add new image and go to upload files, and then basically select files, and you would have a file on your computer. Perhaps you'd ordered a banner from somebody on Fiverr, again, who could create a banner for you for your website. It gives you the suggested dimensions based on the theme. So for this particular theme, it's 1260 by 240. So I created a banner earlier on. This is one I just knocked up myself very quickly. You can see I'm not the best designer in the world, but just to show you an example of how to do that. Click select and crop. It does that just means it does allow you to adjust the image if you've got one that's too big. So I could crop that with the options here just to make it fit what I was looking for, but I will leave that as it is. Skip cropping, that should work, and you can see it's just loading up the image now into the theme. So now it's showing perfectly well on the website. Background image, for this particular theme, it's not going to make any difference, so I'm not going to upload anything there. But again, these options are going to differ based on the theme that you're using. Widgets are where it gets interesting with WordPress. It gives you various widget areas depending on your theme, and I'll show you what that really means. So all these elements down the menus, down the left-hand side on this particular theme, these are all widgets. So you can see you can order them around. I'm going to drag that search further down just so you can see how that works. Just wait for that to upload, and you'll see that the search box moves further down. There we go. I can add a search, just a title for that search. Again, it's going to update that. There are other widget areas. I may want to add another widget. So I could have a tag cloud, which you may have seen on different websites, an RSS feed from another website. For example, you might want an RSS from your Slideshare account, for example, or it could be anywhere really, just to show other content from somewhere else. Text, to add a widget, you can just click and it should, where's that gone? Yes, so it's right there. And this just allows you to add some text on there. So I could, for example, have, let's just see. I'm not too sure what I'm going to write there actually, but it could just be anything. There are different widgets as well that you can use to add in links. I don't know whether any are available here, but you can add that kind of functionality in with plugins to give you a widget basically that you can add to your menu and then allow links to appear. So you can see, well, yeah, so the text widget there, so you can really put anything in there. You could put another image in there. You could add a advertising banner, for example, there, anything else really. Content sidebar, this one isn't actually showing at the moment based on this particular theme, but I could add a widget and it will show on their website. So let's stick a calendar there just to show you the possibilities. And you can see a calendar show up on the right-hand side there. So really this is, it's very easy to work with widgets within WordPress. Footer widget area, you may want a copyright statement, for example. So I will just click the text one again and just kind of put in a sample copyright statement. You may have a link to your privacy policy and so on. So that's saving automatically. It will upload, and if I scroll down, you can see it's put the text there for you. In terms of the proudly powered by WordPress, that's a theme option, so it's based on this particular theme. Certain kind of themes have different functionality, as I've said, so there's probably a way somewhere to get rid of that by editing the themes files, and again, that could be something that a developer could do that for you, or you could there's possibly an option somewhere in the theme to get rid of that. I've not found it yet, but a lot of themes do have that kind of option available for you to do. So we will save and publish that. So it's saved. We'll now return to the blog. Different customization options. Static front page would allow you to change what shows on the very front page of your website. So it could be your latest post. I tend to leave it at that one. Or you could have a static page, which means that you add a page into WordPress and then you always have that displayed on the front page. So it could be trying to get leads onto your email list, for example, when they first arrive at your blog. Some bloggers take that approach. I tend to just leave it as my latest posts. Featured content, use a tag to feature your posts. So this is just another option within the particular theme that you might want to play around with. I'll leave that one for now. Close that down and it will go back to the dashboard. And if I upload the website now, you'll see how that's immediately uploaded. Or not. Let's try that one more time. It could be cached for some reason. I'm not sure why that's not showing the changes that we've made. But really, that's generally how you make changes to your theme. It could well show up in a few minutes if there's a cache affecting that in some way. So that's customizing your theme. Let's move on to adding plugins, and I'll show you how to do that. You go to plugins. This will show you plugins that you already have installed. When WordPress was installed, it adds certain default plugins for you. So because I did it through HostGator in the way that I showed during the presentation, it installs a couple of plugins for me. HostGator Walk Me plugin, I'm not too sure what that does. And the Mojo Marketplace, which affects certain options showing up within WordPress. That's really dependent on the options you use. Let's have a look at installing Pretty Links. So to install one, I would just go to Add New, and it allows you to search plugins. There are thousands of plugins available for WordPress doing all sorts of different things, and you'll get the more that you get into blogging, the more that you'll kind of understand the type of plugins that are available for you to use. But pretty much anything you can think of can be done by a plugin within WordPress. So I'll just type in this one. This really allows you to, for example, you might have affiliate links that you want that you want people to click through via your own website. So it could be yourblog.com Aweber if you're an Aweber affiliate, and that would go straight to your affiliate link for Aweber. So to install the plugin, I found the one I wanted. I will just click install now, and that will install the plugin usually within a few seconds. Yep. So literally less than 5 seconds, it's installed that for me. It then gives you an option to activate, and you can activate it here straight away, or it also shows on your installed plugins. You can activate it there as well. So we've got Pretty Link that's now installed. It allows you to shrink, track, and share any URL on the internet from your blog. I will click activate. So that's now activated. There will be a setting somewhere to allow me to add links. Plugin activated. Pretty Link, there we go. So each plugin tends to have different ways for you to adjust the settings. So some will have settings on this plugin page itself. Others, it may come off the settings menu there, and others will have, like Pretty Link, a option within your overall menu. So it depends how that plugin has been designed. So for this particular plugin, I could add a new link. target URL, so the URL I want to send traffic to. So I believe my affiliate link for Aweber is www.wordpress.com, and I just want, if I have a link within the blog post, for example, I don't want to use that particular link. I just want to send them to Aweber. So I would just put that link in there, and that's what I can now use. Put in a title for reference, I believe. I won't look at these other options for now. Create, so just to show you how this particular plugin works. So none of this functionality was available when I first installed WordPress. It's only here because I've installed the plugin, so it's the type of thing that plugins can do. And now that particular link I can now use within blog posts or anywhere else. And if I go to that, it should now, all being well, go straight to Aweber. So we'll just, so that's gone straight through my affiliate link. So that's how you use that particular plugin. We'll look at SEO Yoast, which is a kind of an essential plugin really for SEO purposes on your blog. So if I go to Add New again, search plugins, I will look up SEO. I'll try Yoast, and it should come up right at the top, hopefully. There we go. WordPress SEO by Yoast. Fantastic plugin. You can see it's had over 1 million installs installed there really, really quickly. Again, I'll activate it here this time. And this now gives you various options, various SEO options. And you can see that this particular plugin adds an SEO option to your WordPress menu. And if I click through on the different options available, you can take a tour. It's quite an extensive plugin, this one, so it's worth taking the tour just to kind of learn a little bit more about it. I'll just go through. So it gives you various options that help the search engines understand what your website is all about, really. So I would probably type in exactly what I had there. Build your traffic as the website name. Just kind of take that tour and understand a bit more about what it does. There are various options here which you may or may not need. Let's go to titles. Oh, I probably need to click Save Changes, which I didn't, never mind. Let's just click Save Changes there. And titles and metas, we'll see the options that are here. Okay, so the title separator is really what's going to separate your domain name from the post title when people go to view a blog post. So let me just show you how that works. So if I go to the vWriter blog and click through on a post, let's just go to that post there. If I hover over the title, it's not actually done it on this particular post, but quite often you will see your domain name. It depends on the settings on the particular blog, but quite often you will see your domain name and the blog title there as well. So it will say something like vWriter.com hyphen and then the blog title, or the other way around. The homepage, again, it's probably a good idea. I don't quite understand what this bit is about. So it looks like it's got placeholders for different options for the title. So again, just have a look at the help information they have available on all these different things. I tend to use it mainly within the post itself, and I'll show you that soon. Social, you can basically type in all your different URLs on social just to integrate your blog with your social accounts. So there's Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google Plus if you're set up on there as well. XML sitemaps is a good option to set up. So it basically sets up that sitemap, and then that can be used for Google to help them kind of understand your blog better and to navigate all the different posts and to make sure they're all spidered. And in the search engines, various advanced options. So I won't go into this in a huge amount of depth. This would probably be worth a presentation on its own, to be honest. You can enable breadcrumbs with the theme itself, which probably would require a developer to help you with, to be honest. The permalinks option Uh, I won't do it through here. What I'm going to do is show you how to do that through the settings page, or the different settings. You've got settings and then permalinks. What I tend to do with permalinks, let's just let that load up, is move away from the default option where it shows you the date within the URL, because that doesn't do anything for your search engine visibility. If anything, it tells Google when your blog post might be out of date. I tend to stick with the post name, which means, well, you can see it in action on the blog post, on the example blog post I just showed you, where basically your blog post title is converted into the URL for your post. So I will save changes there. You'll see how that works shortly. Let's just go back to plugins. The Akismet plugin is important for comments, so it helps you to filter out comments that come through. So it recognizes comments as spam and will basically stick comments in your spam folder for you, so they don't so you don't have to process all these different spam comments that come through from time to time. To activate it, you would just click activate there, of course. It will then ask you to sign up for an Akismet API key. And if you don't have one of these, it's very simple to get one. You would just click there. You don't pay for any of this, it's all free. Sign up for an account here and it would give you a key that you can then use for that particular plugin. So you would click settings there. So for this particular plugin, the settings is on the plugins page. Enter your key, use this key, and then you'll be linked up in effect with Akismet and their database, which would enable spam blog posts to be easily identified. And so really you'll only have to deal with more serious, proper, genuine comments, should we say. So that's Akismet. Let's have a look at the Facebook like box that I've put there. So this, well, you'll see how this works in just a second. So, and similar to Fiverr, really, I'm looking for plugins that have a high number of installs, so it shows they're well established, and a good rating as well. So let's have a look. So we've got over 10,000 installs of this particular plugin. It's got 5-star rating, so I'm going to go for this particular one. I can see it's compatible with my version of WordPress, which means it's been updated regularly. There are others, like this one. I don't know why WordPress would show this towards the top. Really, it should be the higher rated ones that show nearer the top. But you can see this one was last updated 5 years ago. It's got a pretty low rating, even though it's had lots of installs. So you'd avoid plugins like that and really go for the tried and tested ones here. It's also for security reasons as well. You want one that's had a ton of installs and that's been updated very recently, that has a really high rating, so you can feel secure in what you're updating. Click install now. Again, really quick install. Impressed by how quickly that's installing. So activate the plugin. You can see with the Akismet plugin, because I've activated it and not yet added in my key, it's alerting me to that fact. So once I put in my Akismet key, that message will be gone and that will start working for me. So I've got the easy Facebook like box. There'll be a settings page somewhere. Let's have a look where that might be. Oh yes, okay. So this one, plugins can get a bit confusing sometimes. So this particular plugin gives you another widget to use. So you would get to the settings for it by widgets. So once my brain kicked into gear, I realized, and you will see the plugin somewhere down here there we go. So if I click that, let's put it over there in the right-hand sidebar. But it's up to you where you put it. I'll leave I'll tell you what, I'll put connects on Facebook. I'll just put the URL of vWriter's Facebook page. Let's set the width to 300. Let's go with the examples here. I'll click Show Faces and click Save, and we'll just see how that turns up. So let's hope this blog will be updated. Yeah, there we go. So it must have been a cache issue before where it wasn't showing what I updated with a theme earlier on. So we can now see it's showing the Connect on Facebook plugin that I've installed. It's got the calendar widget that we put onto the right-hand side as well. It's got the banner up there as well. So everything's come through as we designed it before. So just beware of that caching ability if you think it's not working. It could well be if you give it a few minutes. And there's probably a setting you can make somewhere to make it update a bit quicker for you. So that's the Facebook like box. Another great one is for Pinterest, and this plugin is developed by Pinterest themselves. And it basically means when somebody comes to your website and they hover their mouse over an image, for example on a blog post, they can then pin it to Pinterest, and it gets you increasing visibility on Pinterest, of course, which is what you want. Pinterest is up there with Twitter now in terms of traffic. So certainly not to be discounted at all. Plugins, let's look for, we don't want to search installed, we want to add new. So you can click there on the menu or also at the top there. So we'll take that option this time. Search plugins. I'm sure you're getting the hang of how this works now. So pin button, let's see if that brings it up. I've tried that Webalizer one. It didn't work too well for me, but it could have been just something I was doing wrong. So that's probably a good one to use as well. That's another one by Webalizer. Let's have a look for one by Pinterest itself. Pinterest pin it button. It could well be this one. Let's just have a look at this one. If you click more details. No, it doesn't tell us here. Let's have a look on the plugin homepage. No, I don't think that was the one I was looking for. So it could well be that that works perfectly well. But let's see if I can find the actual one by Pinterest. Pin it button Pinterest. I believe, yeah, there we go. So that one's by Pinterest. It's actually got a low rating, this. I'm not too sure why, but I've installed it as by Pinterest, so I kind of trust it for that reason. It's had 10,000 installs. It was updated a month ago, so there's probably just one or two with 1 star who didn't quite install it properly or it didn't work because of a technical reason. So on this particular circumstance, because it comes from the brand Pinterest, I trust it. So I'm going to break the rule I mentioned earlier on and install the 3-star plugin. Activate it here. Let's see if there's settings somewhere. It's not there. There we go, it's on the settings menu. So all these plugins just are designed to try to confuse you as best they can. So enable the pin it hover button over images. I will enable that one. I just want it small, rectangular, color gray. You can pick different options. I'll leave it as the default. Click Save Changes. And let's just see. You can see if I hover over the banner now, there's no pin it button appearing at all. I'm not sure how this will work with caching, but I'm hoping one might appear. No, there's not one appearing yet. It could well be that it only appears with images in a post. I will come back to that in case it's caching again. So I'll come back in a few minutes. There's a plugin as well for Slideshare, which allows you to embed slideshares really easily into posts. So let's just install the Slideshare one. Hopefully I'll find this one slightly quicker. Let's have a look. That's one by Yoast again, so that's probably a good one to go for. But I believe that Slideshare themselves provide one. Which I can't find at the moment. So let's just try the one by Yoast. I'm sure that's just as useful, just as good. Activate plugin. And if I go to Slideshare, have a look at a sample Slideshare. So let's pick the one. You can see how the ones on the front page will get the most views, but I will just click through on this particular one to embed it. Click the option there. You can see it gives you a WordPress shortcode. If I click on that and just copy, and then take that back to a post, I've no idea whether this will work doing it live or not. So we'll add new. I will just name the title of the post Slideshare, keep it really simple. Copy the embed code, click publish. You can see they give you the URL there, the link to the page. So it's now publishing. You can also save it as draft and so on. I will view the post to see what shows up. And all being well, yeah, so we have embedded the Slideshare. So without the plugin, let's just show you how that would work without the plugin. Let's view post in a different window. I'll go back to plugins and deactivate the plugin. If I deactivate that, so take away all the functionality that the plugin gave us, reload this page. Yeah, it's working, I think, because of the caching. So again, I will try that in a bit. Let's just see if that's working now for Pinterest. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like it caches it for some reason for a minute or two. So now hovering over that particular banner, you can see the pin it button is appearing for people, so they can just click. You'll see this on websites all over the web. They can then just click that and share that particular image. So my blog's banner, my blog's header image on Pinterest. Most people will be, if they're a Pinterest user, will be signed in anyway, and they can just share it on Pinterest literally with the click of a button. So that's how that works. Let's just test how quick the caching operates. Nope, it's still there with that one, so we'll leave that one for a little while longer. Tweet this. Let's have a look at that plugin. This is a useful plugin for your blog posts to encourage people to tweet. There we go, tweet this, install, 2 seconds later, installed. And tweet this, so it's got getting started, so you can click there to kind of take a look at more information about how to use it. There's just a few settings to go through. It's got a good article here actually about how to go through and use it a really simple way, and then he goes into more depth as well. So I'd have a quick read of that about how to do it. So it's activated. I can click settings. Now, if this was the vWriter website, I would put in our Twitter handle there, which means that when somebody uses the plugin to tweet something, the Twitter handle will appear, and I'll be notified basically when they share some content, so I can go through and thank them for that. Let's just leave all the rest of the settings for now. Like I said, there's a ton of information there. Save changes. And when I go to a post, let's just click that one again. I'll see if that's updated yet at all. No, it's still working perfectly fine. It could be even that WordPress has updated to allow the Slideshare embed code. I'm not sure. It could be the caching issue. But let's just show you how that tweet this plugin works. So I click the little tweet icon that appears, text to tweets. This is some useful text. Obviously, you would have this relevant to your particular post. Gives you various options here. Insert shortcode. I will then preview the changes of that post. So this means it's not live, I'm just previewing what it would show. Oh, there we go. So now the caching has gone within that. So that's what shows without the plugin for Slideshare, if that makes sense. So it's only the plugin that enables the actual, where was it? The actual Slideshare to appear properly. So that's why you need the plugin. That's what I meant. And the tweet this plugin, you can set an option to get rid of that text as well within the settings. If somebody comes along and clicks tweet this, they will be able to tweet it straight out. Most people are going to be logged into Twitter already, so they'll be able to just click straight away and tweet out the content from your blog and really share that message with their own audience. So again, it's another really useful plugin, and like I said, there are tons of these plugins available, so just have a look around, have a look at what other blogs are using. If you're wondering how they do that, it's undoubtedly going to be via a particular plugin. I'm just going to zoom through this last section quickly because we're shortly out of time. So we've had a look at some of the settings. I'll just show you a few more. Let's leave the page. So general settings is where you set your title, tagline. We also did that within the theme settings as well. Most of these you probably won't need to change, but it just gives you that option really. The writing side, again, a few options you can play around with. Most of the time you won't need to adjust these at all. Reading, again, this is where you can change the front page of your site to display your latest posts, which I tend to leave it to, or a static page and then select which one. So there are quite often different ways to do different things. Again, different settings. I probably wouldn't discourage search engines. You want them to carry on, so leave that as it is. Just have a look through these different options when you come to install your own WordPress. You can, for example, opt to be emailed whenever anyone posts a comment and so on. Lots of different settings, so far too many to really go through in depth, but most of them are very self-explanatory. Media, different options for the images on your website, permalinks, which we've already had a look at, and then different settings for the plugins that we've got. I'll just show you categories. If you go to posts and then categories, you want some basic categories for your website setup. So for this example, website builds your traffic, I'm going to want a category for, say, web traffic. This is where you probably want to do some keyword research just to find out which keywords are going to be most advantageous for you. I'm going to set that as web traffic. It's got no parent. So you can have categories with kind of child categories as well. Add that category. Let's add another one, search engine optimization, and add another category. So that's how you would add categories. And then when you go to add a new post or edit a post, you can select which category you want that post to be displayed for within your blog. In terms of the WordPress SEO options, you can specify keywords for your post, and then it will go off and assess how kind of valuable that is for that particular keyword and suggest changes. I do have an example post in here, so let me just show you how that would work with an example post. So I'll click on this one. This one was taken from the vWriter blog that was published the other day. So it's just got more content to work with. So the focus keyword could be get more blog traffic. It's got options to enter the title and so on. So it's found, it tells you where it's found it. It's found 2 instances of that within the content. It can't find it within the meta description, so you would enter in more text here, and that's what would show it up for search engines. So it gives you an option to enter more text there and put your keyword in there. You can enter in a different title there again. So just have a play around with those settings. Page analysis, let's just save it as a draft first of all, and that should then feed through into that analysis. Let's scroll down to the bottom again. Click on analysis. So it's got a lot more detail there It gives you a lot of information about things you can improve to help your post get ranked more successfully. So that's why this plugin is really useful one to have. Advanced options here, just have a look through that. There are various there's various information about the plugin online, so just Google it to find out more about all the different options available. We've only got a minute or so left, so as well as posts, these are going to show up on your regular kind of blog feed. You can also set up pages. So for example, you're going to want to set up pages for your privacy policy. You may have a contact us type of page as well, all these kind of basic pages. You won't want them showing on the front page along with your normal posts, but they're more kind of static pages that you can set up as well for those purposes. I also use this for some autoresponder messages, so people who sign up to my list, I will sometimes direct them to a page which has some more information, but that page won't show up in the general blog feed. And in terms of comments, when people leave comments on your blog post, and you'll find it takes a while for comments to build up, so just don't be too disillusioned if you don't get comments for weeks or a few months, but they will come as you build up your activity on social media, build up your email list, and so on. This is where you will process comments coming in. So anything Akismet processes as spam, you'll see in your spam folder here. You can delete things coming through. Pending will show here, and you can decide whether to approve them. If you've got moderation turned on, you can edit the comments coming through. If somebody has a few typos in there, you can just make it look a bit better, and so on. So hopefully that's been really useful. There's only a minute or so left, so if you do have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, like I said, I hope you found that useful today, and I wish you a very nice weekend. Thank you so much for being here and following along.